I'm with you. And one of the things that folks should keep in mind, the whole point of the sequester, I mean, the reason that the sequester was in place originally was because this would be an automatic, painful way to try to squeeze out $85 billion. In other words, to draw down the overall deficit by $85 billion. The fact of the matter is, simply because our economy has grown the way it has this year, we brought in more than $85 billion above what we were expecting in the first 3 months. So in other words, we've already taken care of, simply by growing our economy, what the sequester was intended to do. So this idea that, well, we absolutely have to have the sequester because we've got to continue to tighten our belt. No, we've already closed that gap in terms of the budget deficit. We've already closed it by the $85 billion sequester was intended to save. So, look, I get the argument from folks who say, oh, the absolute most important thing that we can do as an economy right now is we can show that we're responsible, and we're responsible by
David, you get that argument?
Well, I get it. I understand it. I just don't agree with it. I mean, I understand the argument from people who want to say, hey, we can't continue to keep putting more and more money on the credit card of our children and grandchildren. My argument is, oh, yes, we can. Deficits, in my view, they have proven not to matter. This is the one issue where Dick Cheney was right when he was asked about budget deficits. He said deficits don't matter. And he's correct. What matters is whether our economy is healthy. And to me, it's been proven time and time again that the steps that the Republicans, joined by some Democrats and joined on some issues by President Obama, the steps they're trying to take to lower the deficit will put some of the brakes on the economy. And that, to me, just is ridiculous and striking the way most economists understand that this is ridiculous. I think most members of the media, if they would simply do a little homework, they would understand that this is ridiculous. And yet it is seen somehow as, oh, we're being responsible because we're protecting the next generations by minimizing the amount of money that's going on their credit card. Well, no, the way you protect the next generations is to continue to grow the economy. The way you continue to grow the economy is to stimulate the economy where needed. Interest rates are already as low as possible. You continue to sort of do what the government can do to create jobs. And then, oh, by the way, that sends more money back to the government because as the economy grows, tax receipts go up, which is what has happened at the beginning of this year. Tax receipts are higher because the economy has been heating up. Anyway, enough with my rant. Folks, if you want to take action, contact your member of Congress. Let them know what you think about the president's views on cutting Social Security or Medicare, the grand bargain the president is trying to strike. Daniel mentioned Alan Grayson, John Conyers. You can always contact them and tell them whether you support or disagree.
Go to no-cuts.com. That's where they're gathering signatures.
Cuts.com. Sign on as to whether you support John Conyers and Alan Grayson, who are threatening to simply vote against whatever proposal includes the cuts. Good for them, folks. There's a lot of sort of leeway in this budget discussions. And believe me, most members of Congress, they don't know what they're talking about as far as the specifics, but they do know what their constituents want. And if you make your voice heard on these issues, that can go a long way, particularly right now. Coming up, is it ever a wise idea for a Little League baseball town, for a Little League sort of conference of teams in a small town, is it ever a wise idea to raise money by raffling off an assault weapon, a gun? That's what they've done in Illinois. We'll explain the story, get the views of our own Rich Webster on that when Take Action News on WEAC Radio continues.